What's going on, Ravens fans? Welcome into the Ravens Rundown live show. I am your host, Joey Peterson, back in the former spot of a Tuesday evening. You know, once we started the season, we're going to shift to Wednesdays, but some scheduling things came up. So it's Tuesday. It's 5 o'clock Eastern. That means we are live on the channel. I'm so happy to be with every single one of you. We got producer Gage in here with you, of course. I'm Joey Peterson, rocking with y'all for the next hour or so. We got a ton of shows to get to. Up first, we're going to give you the positive Isaiah Likely injury news. We got a lot to discuss on that front. Then we're going to get into my Ravens-Browns preview. And then up last, everybody's favorite segment, yours, mine, the entire world's, is our live Ravens Rundown mailbag. And the funny thing is I see a question down there. It says, is Harbaugh fired yet? Which sends me perfectly into my first question for you guys. Should the Ravens fire John Harbaugh? Give me a yes or give me a no in the comment section down below. The crazy thing is, Mr. Gage, is we put a poll out on this morning or yesterday, and it was a almost exact 50-50 split. At 4.2 thousand votes, it was 51 yes, 49 no. Okay, so you guys, I'm sure I'll see some yeses, I'll see some nos. My thought is, it's definitely way too early to fire John Harbaugh, but if this stuff keeps happening throughout the season, and if you come up short yet again, I just don't know how you can keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, which is what you've been doing with John Harbaugh for the last decade or so. And so, obviously, you're not going to fire him anytime soon. You're not going to fire him anytime in the middle of the season unless there's just an absolute implosion. But regardless, I think it's maybe a conversation to have if what happens last season happens again in the postseason. We got Fierce saying no. Fierce also said, I was like, what? I thought it was Tuesday. Threw me off. Well, Fierce, we're here. We're pumped. Our Flock says no. Dick says yes. Attendance Squad says, I feel like it's too early. Isaac Gonzalez says, what's up, Joey? I tuned in right away. Glad to have you, Isaac. Raven76 B-More says yes. Dick Togo says, Harbaugh should have been fired in 2018. Lamar literally saved his job. We can decide better at the end of the season, says Isaac. Our Flock said offense was great. Defense was not. Dick Togo also said, you could give the Ravens the 2006 defense with this offense, and they would still lose 5 or 6 games. Harbaugh sucks, bro. So it's pretty obvious Dick Togo is not a fan of John Harbaugh. Ravens Pro says it's hard to believe we blew a 15-point lead, 40 points, and lose it. I know it's week 1, but wow, I had a beer too to celebrate a win, but I'm disappointed in the defense. But okay, we'll be fine, but I am shocked. Jay Rolom says, should we sign Jadeveon Clowney? No, I don't think so. Jay, great question. Ask it again and use hashtag Ravens in that question so that way we can, put it up on screen during our mailbag segment. I don't think so, just because, in my opinion, edge rusher is not what you need, although you did not get a lot of pressure, so maybe that makes you rethink some things. But I'd rather, if you're going to sign someone in free agency, I'd rather it be a cornerback. Harbaugh Glazers are wild to me, says Dick. Fierce says, hit the like and the sub button. Amen, Mr. Fierce Outdoors. If you haven't liked the video yet, hit that thumbs up button. And if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We crossed 36,000 subscribers today. We've added over 1,800 in the last 2 days. It's been an awesome, awesome week so far. Attendance Squad, Joey, will be Tuesday live streams regularly. No, we will not be regularly doing Tuesdays. Attendance Squad, this just kind of happened because of some scheduling things this week. The national pundits are calling this out. I'm glad this is being talked about more, says Raven76B. More Moggs getting a question in. I like that question, Moggs. Salty Dad with the questions as well. Wow, we already got a ton of great questions. You guys are bringing it already. Keep getting those in. And keep letting me know. 17 double-digit lead blown. A change needs to happen, says Chuck Pumphrey. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, my next question for you. I've asked you this a couple times, but I'm curious if it's changed. What was your one-word reaction from Ravens versus Bills? I think mine was just embarrassing. That is my one, or that was and still is my one-word reaction to that game. That ball game was just like, it was embarrassment. It was embarrassment for this team, for this coaching staff, for these players, for that defense to be on the road, up 15 in the home opener, and you do something like that. I absolutely hate it. Shannon Lindemann. What's up, Shannon? So, Shannon, use hashtag Ravens, but then the rest of your question is out of the hashtag, okay? You just got to have hashtag Ravens. Gabe Hindle, okay, if Harbaugh was fired, who would you bring in then? It's a great question. Maybe you promote Todd Monken from within, but that's the big question. If you're going to let go of a guy, you got to replace him with somebody. And I don't think replacing him with Zach Orr is going to be a popular move as of right now. So I think Todd Monken would be a choice. I don't know, though. It's interesting. Dick says anybody. R Flock says painful. Raven76 Bmore says disappointment. Jay says wow. 619 says disgusting. Ravens still the best team despite fumbling games. Yeah, Big Mac, they're still going to win a lot of games this year. I can promise you that. The Eagles fired Andy Reid. We can't fire Harbaugh, says Dick Togo. Did Harbaugh invent Ravens football or something? Chuck says disappointed. Raven76 Bmore says, I wish we had Sean McVay. You and me both. Ravens also, or Arflock says, how long is Harbaugh's contract? He just signed a 3-year extension in the offseason. Brad says, ultimately, it's up to Lamar. Well, Brad, I see what you're saying there, but Lamar helped put up 40 points on the road. So at some point, you got to say it can't all 100% be up to Lamar, man. At some point, right? Awesome job so far getting those questions in the chat. Keep them coming. Again, use hashtag Ravens. We got Whitfield in here, Jacko in here, Douglas Mejia in here. I like it. You guys are showing out and showing up early. Hashtag Ravens in the chat or super chat to get on today's Q&A. Shannon, it has to be Ravens with an S. So try it one more time, but that was the correct way to do it. So if you super chat any dollar amount, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter. It gives you priority in that mailbag. You get to go to the top of the list, and you get to be our first question answered in that mailbag segment. Grade the Ravens' performance on Sunday night. That was my poll question. We got 19% saying A, 38% saying B, 24% saying C, and 20% saying F. Y'all go ahead and get in that live poll and get your question in. Or not question, get your vote in. Whitfield, do we have the cap space to get Falele out of here with a free agent? No, the thing is, he sucks, right? We're actually going to talk about that a little bit in today's show. He was not good. He is not good. But that's the thing, is there's just not a lot of good interior free agent options out there right now, unfortunately. Wow, lots of questions so far. You guys are absolutely crushing. Keep it up. And make sure you hit that thumbs up button, okay? Do you want the Ravens to beat Cleveland and get in the win column for the first time in 2025? If you do, I need you to cast your vote by liking today's video. 23 likes so far. I need to see that number go up, okay? I need to see that number go up. Let's get that at least to 30. At least to 30. Frank G. Life, where was the defense in the Bills game? They gave up a lead when we were up 40-25. I know, man. You're telling me, brother. You are telling me it was bad. It was non-existent. That's where it was. The key that we're missing is the key pass rusher, a true one. Yeah, Douglas, I was not impressed from what I saw in the pass rushing at all. Not even just the fact that they didn't put up a lot of statistics, excuse me, but also just the effort was bad. Like, if you look at Odafe Owe's effort, it was horrible. It was really, really bad. Stovey Boy says, my only gripe about the Ravens is they don't step on the necks of their opponents and let them hang around instead of going for the knockout. Yeah, it kind of seemed like that, didn't it? There we go, Shannon. Great job getting that question in. 2 likes away. We need 2 more likes. 2 more people hit that thumbs up button. We got an awesome show coming up for you guys. 3 segments on the way. Our first segment, we got to talk about Isaiah Likely and his injury news, his injury update. Okay, so we're going to get into that one. In our second segment, we're going to give you a preview of Ravens versus Browns. And then the third segment, of course, while you guys are all getting those questions in there, you're doing it for that live Ravens mailbag. So keep doing those. We're still 2 likes away. I need 2 out of the 44 people watching to hit that thumbs up button, to like today's video, and to get us to where we need to go so that way we can start the show, okay? That way we can start the show. Come on, come on, come on. Gabe said, everyone said the same thing last year about our defense. Just give it a few weeks to really see how they settle in. It's a long season. I like that, Gabe. This defense was one of the worst in football for the first 11 weeks of the season, and then they absolutely turned a corner. I'm not saying I expect that to 100% happen again, but I am just saying give them some time. Give them some time. One more like. Come on. Who's going to do it? And there we got it. Okay. First segment up today. We got a positive update on Isaiah Likely's injury. Gage, we ready to go, brother? All righty, let's get to that right now. Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. My name is Joey Peterson. On today's show, we got a positive update on Isaiah Likely in regards to his injury. It's been a long last couple of weeks or couple of months for one Isaiah Likely. Of course, we all know what happened back on July 30th. Jeremy Fowler was the one that broke the news that he was officially suffering from a small foot fracture and the final rep of Tuesday's practice in late July. And he said at the time, if all goes well, it's an early season return and week 1 is possible. And then Ian Rappaport later in the day said that Isaiah Likely will have surgery to fix that broken bone in his foot. Sources say the belief he's out about 6 weeks, though depending on the outcome, it could be fewer. While Likely could be ready to go for week 1, the best news is it's not long term. As we all know, he was not ready to go week 1. He did not play week 1. In today's news that we're going to discuss, it feels like we're going in a positive direction regarding his injury status and regarding his future and when he might be back on this football team. Before that, though, I need you guys to do me a favor and show Isaiah Likely some love, okay? If you want him back in the lineup as soon as possible, I need you to do me one big favor. Hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. All right, today's update comes from the man himself, an Instagram video he posted of him getting some working out. He's going over those, I don't want to say, they're not like the ladders, but you can see what they are. And he's going from right to left, and each time when he gets to the end of it, he sticks on that one foot. You see him doing it on that first picture that we showed you right there on that right foot. Then he goes all the way across to the left side and then sticks it on that left foot, and then he runs it out and then comes to a complete stop. Okay? And so, obviously, I'm doing my best to show you with these pictures. The video is a little bit more telling, but a couple things I noticed. He's doing it in full speed, and he's exaggerating on those final cuts so that way he can hit down on each of his feet. And I don't want it to overreact to an Instagram video, and that's not what I'm trying to do today. But I will say, I think this is great progress, and it looks at the end of the day that he's trusting that foot, and it's to the point where he can put all 100% of his weight on it, which I think is all we're waiting for him to be able to do. To be healthy enough to go out there and run, to be healthy enough to put his weight on it. And I think the most important part is to mentally get over the hurdle of it and have 100% trust in it. So, Joey, I hear you asking, what does that mean moving forward for Isaiah Likely? What does that mean moving forward for him and where he's going to fit in this roster? Well, I don't think he's going to be back against Cleveland, unfortunately. I just don't really see him being back in time. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me that they would rush him back for a game against the Browns, in which I feel like, and I get it, you lost against the Raiders and the Browns last year, but I feel like they're going into this game with a pretty big confidence that they're going to be able to win it. And you don't want to rush a guy back who's not 100% yet if you feel like you can win it even without him. But the upcoming schedule after that Browns game is pretty damn hard. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Those are 4 teams that will make the playoffs. That's right. You heard me say that as an absolute. Not probably. I'm going to say right now, those 4 teams are going to make the playoffs. Lions, Chiefs, Texans, Rams. 4 really good teams. And when you have those guys on your schedule, you want to be able to be full force, 100% of your roster, or as many weapons as you can. And so that's why I feel like they'll give him 1 more week of rest, not play him against the Browns, so that way he can be as healthy as possible, because he even gets an extra day, because against the Lions it's Monday Night Football. If he is back week 3, and if he is back on Monday Night Football against Detroit, that will make it 54 days since the surgery, which is 7.5 weeks. And if you remember, they said it was going to be a 6-week injury. The good thing is we haven't heard anything negative saying he's healing poorly or it's going to take much longer than it already is. And I would like to have him back by Detroit if that's possible. But at the end of the day, I just want to make sure he's as healthy as he can be. I just want to make sure if he can get back to a point where he can be 100% healthy, that this team waits until that point. Because I think you got a lot of really good offensive weapons, even without Likely. You have Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Andrews, Justice Hill. Like, you got a lot of really good players. I'm not saying you don't need Likely, but he's kind of a luxury. And so let's just wait to get that luxury back until he's 100% and ready to go. It's time to make predictions. Which week will Isaiah Likely be back? Okay? You let me know in the comment section down below. Right now, I'm guessing week 3. You might have a different thought than me. But regardless, I want you to let me know which week that you think he's going to be back. If I am Isaiah Likely, okay, personally, I'm trying to get back as quickly as I can, okay? And there's a couple of reasons why. Number 1, we all know that he is a wired competitor. You can't be in the National Football League and not be a wild competitor. You can't be a wired competitor, excuse me. You can't be in the National Football League and not be absolutely itching to get on the field every single chance you get. We know he's going into a contract year. So the more games that he plays, the better it's going to be for him. And then the other thing is he's got to take that tight end 1 spot. And he's got to take it from Mark Andrews. Now, the good thing is Mark Andrews didn't show a ton in the Bills game. No, if there's anything we learned from Mark last year, is that sometimes it takes a little bit for him to get going, him to get started, and him to get in the groove of this season. But I don't even want to say the stat sheet wasn't the thing that was most kind to Mark Andrews, and it wasn't. 1 reception, 5 yards. But the effort from Mark Andrews really, really upset me. Okay? And I'm talking into the game, you need your best players to be at their best. You need them to be giving their best effort, and Mark Andrews wasn't. I take you back to the second to last play for the Baltimore Ravens on offense. It was a jet sweep to Zay Flowers. You see somebody standing right there? Do you know who that somebody is? That somebody is Mark Andrews. I'll even show you at a different angle. Like, look at it from the end zone cams. He's looking at Zay Flowers, not blocking it. Like, what kind of effort is that? It's not good enough. That's what it is. And guess who made that tackle? Yep, you guessed it. The guy who Mark Andrews could have blocked right there. So, in my opinion, this spot is Likely's to take. He's got the ability to be able to take it. But he needs to be on the field to do so. That's the thing. And right now, he isn't. Hopefully he will be soon. The funny thing about Isaiah Likely as well is we talked about the contract year. And if you remember, the morning of the practice that he got hurt, we got a couple of reports, everything pointing to the fact that Isaiah Likely is closing in on a new deal with the Ravens very, very soon. Ricky Scoops broke the news at 11:30 that morning. And if you know anything about Ricky Scoops, he nailed the Micah Parsons trade about 4 days before it happened. And then, moving on from there, about an hour later, Spencer Schultz said, can confirm. Ravens are extending Isaiah Likely, not sure of the numbers, and you could push this across, Gage, But sounds like Jake Ferguson made it easier. And that was the week that Jake Ferguson signed his brand new deal. So it is funny that he's going into a contract year, but apparently they were in agreement, and then maybe the injury hurt it. I don't know. I just know that most likely he's next up for a contract. It's going to be him. Maybe. Possibly. There's a lot of guys that are next up. Isaiah Likely, Tyler Linderbaum, Travis Jones, Odafe Oweh, obviously Lamar Jackson. There's a lot of mouths to feed. Isaiah Likely, I feel like, is one that's going to get fed. I want to know, okay, will both Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely be Ravens next season? Okay, that accidentally says this season, but will they be Ravens next season? Both of them, okay? Let me know by giving me a yes or no in the comments section. Something that I know will be there for you next season and is here for you this season is our great friends over at Prize Picks. Look, guys, you and I, we make decisions every single day. But the cool thing is with Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss out on any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you could still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You could double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And I think this is my favorite thing about Prize Picks is that flex play. And I'll show you an example. I have the more on Derrick Henry rush yards against Cleveland, the more on Lamar Jackson rushing touchdowns or receiving touchdowns against Cleveland, and I have the more 4.5 punts for Cleveland's punter. So say that's my Prize Picks lineup. If you don't flex play it, if one of those loses, you win no money. But if you do flex play it, one of those still has the flexibility to lose, and you still win money. I mean, come on, guys. It's an awesome, awesome thing that Prize Picks does. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Let's go around the AFC North before we get you out of here, okay? We'll be quick with this one. I know games happened a couple days ago, but hey, we're still trying to keep you guys as updated as we can. The Steelers, they did win. Funny enough, it was a shootout against the New York Jets, which going into that game, having a Justin Fields-led offense against a Steelers defense, I kind of thought it'd be low scoring, but it was not. Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, looked pretty good. 22 for 30, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns. Well, let's be real. Like, that Jets defense, it's good. It's nothing phenomenal. But, honestly, when you look at what the Ravens did week 1, they weren't anything phenomenal either. The Bengals and the Browns both played each other. We can just do these last two as they come. Bengals absolutely just squeaked by the Browns, okay? It was very, very surprising. 17-16 was that final. And Joe Burrow, who's usually like the bright light, was not that. Neither was Jamar Chase. I mean, their leading receiver was T. Higgins with 33 yards. Joe Burrow failed to eclipse 115 yards passing against the Browns. So, maybe their offense isn't as good as we thought. Maybe Cleveland's defense is really good. I don't know. Right now, as we stand, 1 week out in the NFL season, Steelers at the top with the Bengals, both at 1-0. Ravens and Browns, both at 0-1. However, we all know it's a very, very long season. You have a lot of time left to go. For being specific, literally 17 weeks. And speaking of 17, don't forget, the Baltimore Ravens did not have sole possession of the AFC North until week 17 last year. They were tied for it around week 7, but they didn't take sole possession until week 17. That's going to do it on today's show. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Make sure you got me on Twitter. Make sure you got me on Instagram. More than anything, though, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, because if you have not yet, you got to join us today for daily coverage. Woo! I was holding that cough together for the last, minute and a half. Oh, wow. That was a big one. Appreciate you guys for still hanging out with us. Make sure you're liking today's video, hitting that thumbs up button. And you know what, Gage, we can go back to that weigh-in from last one. I want to know what they think about which week Isaiah Likely will be back. Let's throw that one up there. Which week do y'all think Likely is going to be back? Let me know in the comment section. If you answered earlier, I didn't see it because I was in the cut, but you guys can let me know down below by answering that question right now. Christian Coveney says, disappointing. I think that was his one-word reaction to the Ravens-Bills game. Okay, I need 2 more likes. We got to round this thing out 2 more times. I need somebody to hit that thumbs up button if they have not liked it yet, ladies and gentlemen. Whitfield saying, LOL Flacco with 2 ints. That man is approaching nursery home age. Durgard says, so what do you think game 1 means for our defense? Is it hot garbage or too big a test too soon? I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't think they're a top 5 defense, but I don't think they're a bottom 5 defense either, Durger. Like, I think they're going to be a little bit like last year. Just a little bit slow to get started, but I do think they're going to hit their stride and they're going to figure things out at some point. Brandon says, when we play Kansas City, so he thinks week 4. Attendance squad. This is random, but I have a sibling as a fan of the Lions, and we're playing them week 3. Amen. You are correct. Christian Coveney thinks he's coming back week 3. All right, y'all, keep hitting that thumbs up button. Ooh, appreciate you guys. Keep on hitting that like button. We got our next segment coming up. It is our Ravens-Browns week 2 preview. Wow, is that line really 12.5? There we go. Okay, Ravens 12.5-point favorites. I didn't even know that before this video. Well, I'm not too surprised either. Okay, Gage, are we ready to roll? Great. Let me get some water so that makes sure I don't cough and choke and die. That is important. Okay, our week 2 preview, Ravens, Browns, coming at you guys right now. It is time to right the ship, and you get a chance to do it against a much inferior opponent. Welcome to the Baltimore Ravens Rundown, everybody. My name is Joey Peterson. On today's show, I'm going to give you my preview into the Ravens-Bills game Ravens-Browns game this upcoming Sunday, which right now has the Baltimore Ravens sitting at 12.5 points favorites. And I know it might sound dramatic, but it feels a little bit like this is a must-win game. And I know it's not, and I know every single one of you guys is going to point me back to the Raiders game last year and say, Joey, this team lost to the Raiders in week 2 after losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1, and they still went 12-5. They still made the playoffs. I get where you're coming with that. But this schedule gets real very quickly, okay? I'm talking after this game against the Browns, you play the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football. Then you go on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. Then you play the Texans. Then you play the Rams. It doesn't get easy quick. You need to win games like this. So coming up, I got my keys to victory against Cleveland. I'm going to give you 5 of them. And then we're going to wrap this thing up with my Ravens-Browns score prediction. Of course, I want to hear your guys' prediction in the comment section down below. Our week 1 watch party was phenomenal. And we will also be live again for Baltimore versus Cleveland. 248,000 views on that watch party against the Buffalo Bills. This is your first time with us and you don't know what a watch party is, we go live an hour before the game, have a little fun tailgate time, and then I'm live doing play-by-play. We're all hanging out, having fun during the entirety of the game. 250K views off of that one, biggest one in channel history. We added 1,600 subs. 7,800 people at once were watching at the end of it. The good news is we're live again this Sunday, so join us at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, so that way you don't miss it. My number 1 key to victory, okay? Avoid the hangover loss. And unfortunately, this is something that you could not avoid last year. I know we already talked about it, but this can't be another Las Vegas Raiders game. The exact same situation. High leverage, brutal, disappointing, sad loss to open up the game on the road against one of the top teams in the AFC. And then you have an inferior opponent coming in your building in week 2. You lost last year. You can't do that again. Last year, you had 11 penalties for 109 yards in that game. That's not going to cut it. That has to change this time around, okay? You're better than the Browns, and you were better than the Raiders last year. Your first drive, after the end of the third quarter to the end of the game, interception. Second drive, touchdown. Awesome. You're up 10. Then drive number 3, 3 and out. That led to a Las Vegas touchdown. Drive number 4, 3 and out. That led to a Las Vegas field goal. Drive 5, you ended the game in 5 plays. Okay? That can't happen again. You can't do that against the Browns. You are better than them. At the end of the day, this roster is better than Cleveland's in almost every single way. Now, do they have a better pass rusher? Yeah, for sure. Myles Garrett is maybe the best pass rusher in the National Football League. But outside of him, in my opinion, you are better than almost everybody else. And you got the gauntlet coming up, okay? The Bills, that was the first part of it. You lost that game. That means you can't afford to lose this one because after that, you got the Lions, you got the Chiefs like we've already talked about. It gets real very quickly. So this one, you got to get that done. Who do you got? Let me know in the comment section down below. This is your time to claim your allegiance. If you think Baltimore's going to win or if you want Baltimore to win, give me a BAL. If you think Cleveland's going to win for some reason, go ahead, give me a CLE. Number 2, you have to protect Lamar Jackson, okay? That's on Daniel Faalele. That's on Ronnie Stanley, Tyler Linderbaum, Roger Rosengard, Andrew Forrest. It's on everybody. You have to protect Lamar because like I talked about it, they have Myles Garrett, and he is an absolute game wrecker. Besides Lamar Jackson, Myles Garrett might be the best player on the field on Sunday. And what you must do is you must avoid getting in situations like Cincinnati found themselves in this last Sunday. Because Cleveland did a really good job at getting to Joe Burrow. Lots of pressures given up. Lots of sacks for Cleveland. Now, the good thing is, Lamar Jackson, when it comes to the blitz, when it comes to pressure, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And so, that bodes well for Baltimore. But still, regardless, you are going to be better off if he's protected. That means Daniel Faalele is going to have to step up. We showed these to you on, I believe it was Monday's show. Terrible blocking right here against Ed Oliver. And then this next one is just inexcusable. He's turned around. He doesn't know where to go. He's facing the other way. Then he turns around again. He's looking like, where am I going? What am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be blocking? Where am I? What sport am I playing? What's my name? He did not know anything, okay? He did not know anything. And this cannot happen, okay? The Cleveland Browns ran a stunt against Cincinnati. Myles Garrett went from the edge, looped around, went right up the center, and as you can see right here, had about as big of a hold of the quarterback, probably bigger than he's had since he was playing high school football. And he just teed off on Joe Burrow. That cannot happen. What should happen is you guys check out our awesome new sponsor. Not a new sponsor, but a sponsor that's back. Our great friends at Ethos. Look, guys, it's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened, but you do need to be prepared. With life insurance through Ethos, your family is protected. Life insurance is a perfect way to make sure you're covered. You can get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. As you know, my wife Kennedy and I got married last year. I imagine we'll buy a house, start having kids sometime decently soon, and if something were to happen to me, the last thing I want, the people I love, to worry about is being able to pay the bills. So I trust Ethos to keep them protected. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy. To protect your family's future in minutes, not months. Life insurance is more affordable than you think with Ethos. You can get a free quote and customized rate that fits your budget. The process is 100% online with no medical exam required. Ethos is a trustworthy company that disrupts the traditional life insurance industry. As of March 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. In fact, 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help them find their right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Now back to the football. Number 3, you have to be able to force turnovers. Okay? You weren't able to do it last game. And frankly, you weren't really able to do it last year. That is what separated you from being a Super Bowl contender, was your inability to force turnovers in the big moments. Pretty much your inability to force turnovers all season long. You had no turnovers against the Bills, even though you had multiple chances. Malachi Starks, how electric would that have been if his first play as a Baltimore Raven, he ended up picking up that ball that hit him right in the chest. Chidobe Awuzie, we thought he picked it off. He ended up not. And if you look back to Sunday's game, the biggest turning point was Buffalo forcing a turnover. And last year, against the Browns in that loss, you had chance after chance after chance. That one was dropped, okay? This next one, Marcus Williams, high point. I know, he's not on the team anymore. He sucks. That one was dropped. And then the most egregious one, probably, even though I love Kyle Hamilton and I don't like saying anything ever bad about him, but this is about as bad of a drop as you can get. Right in his hands. Jameis Winston looked like he picked him out and said, I'm going to throw you the football. The good thing is they have a new quarterback, but he's a guy who's going to give you chances. Okay? He threw 2 picks to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's defense is horrific. They are horrible. Okay? Joe Flacco's going to make some turnover-worthy plays. It's just going to be the question, is this team going to be able to capitalize on those and actually get that turnover, actually force that interception, force that fumble? Because if they can, you're already better than them, and putting them in a hole is going to help. Predict the score for me, Ravens versus Browns, okay? What do you think it's going to be? I'm going to predict it in probably about 3 to 5 minutes, but I want you guys to get down there before me, so that way I know you're not cheating, know you're not stealing my prediction. You let me know in the comment section down below. My 4th key to victory, you just got to avoid the stupid mistakes, okay? And I'm not talking like avoid things, biting on routes, getting burnt, missing blocks, things like that. I mean the even more frustrating and dumb ones that are kind of outside of the everyday plays. The way that bad teams win against teams that they are far worse than is by taking advantage of stupid mistakes that those teams give them. You are better than Cleveland. Now, the way Cleveland wins this game or makes it a game is if you make those stupid mistakes, if you stoop down to their level. So you must avoid at all costs turnovers, penalties, and special teams mishaps, okay? You can't turn the ball over. Like we talked about against Las Vegas last year, you had 9 penalties. And then the special teams mishaps, I'm not just talking about mixed extra point from Tyler Loop. I'm also talking about Trenton Simpson diving on a punt that was pretty much stopped at the 3 and taking it into the end zone with him. You can't be doing those things. And my 5th key to victory, this one's easy. One word, finish. You got to finish this game. You didn't finish last game. And I get it. The Bills are a lot better than Cleveland is, but this has been the problem with this team. Last time you lost to Cleveland last year, you didn't finish that game. When you lost to Las Vegas last year, you didn't finish that game. You must finish the game. The Ravens, they lost 8 games since 2021, in which at one point they had a win probability of 90%. They're not finishers. That has to change, okay? The way you let bad teams back into games is if you start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. So my score prediction for you, 38-17. I think that's the final. I think you win. I think you win big. I think you make a statement. And I think hopefully you can get in the win column and get back to 500 through week 2. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you guys get me on social media, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Same handle on both places. Make sure you also are subscribed to the channel. If you love the Ravens, then you'll join us right here daily on the Ravens Rundown. All righty. Get those score predictions in. Christian says 35-14. Zach Shaw says 28-17 Ravens. He hopes. Nick says 34-14. Frank G says 31-17. Mog says Ravens is a play around culture, time to tighten up. I like it. I like it. We don't even really need to push that gauge. I think we're all good. If you think we have enough, I think we have plenty. Yeah, I think we have plenty. Yeah, we had tons coming in early. Yeah, sweet. Ravens King says 34-13. Nick says 34-14. Whitfield says 24-10. Sule says 35-7. Okay. Y'all keep getting those in. And, hey, make sure you keep hitting that thumbs up button. Okay, we got 51 people watching. I know not all 51 have liked the video. So I'm going to need 6 likes over the next minute. Okay? Over the next minute, I need 6 likes. And once we get that, we'll be able to start our next segment. Okay? Sule says Flacco gets his revenge. 35-7 Browns. Wow. I didn't even realize that he said Browns last time. I read off his score prediction, did not realize he said Browns. Jay says 85-3. Shannon 35-24. Frank says LOLJ. Okay, 4 more. Come on. 4 more. People need to hit that thumbs up button. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Gotta send a text real quick. $85 by Flacco, he says. That would be crazy. All right, we still need 4 more people to like the video. Still need 4 more people to hit that thumbs up button. Attendance squad, I would like, you know what? I like when they go all purple. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. Yep. I like, so you like even the purple rising one. Yep. Yep. Okay. I like that too. I like those too. We are wearing those Thanksgiving, I think. Monday night's blackout. Monday night against the Lions is blackout. I think this weekend's probably just going to be, I'm going to say black bottoms, purple tops. I think it's just going to be pretty generic. Jacko, okay, says, I like the video if your question gets answered. Well, make sure y'all like it anyway. Let's get going, Mr. Gage. Gage, we're probably going to go somewhere around 12 minutes on this. Okay, so just keep an internal clock. You can see it up there. And also make sure, since we have so many questions, you don't need to repeat anybody's. Okay? So, that is that. All righty. Appreciate you guys all for being here. It's time for the best segment of the week. Let's get into the mailbag right now. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Joey Peterson. Everybody's week, it is time for our mailbag segment. We go live on the weekdays, every single week of the season, every single week of the year. And it's a cool time for you Ravens fans to ask me a question and get a chance to get on the show. So every question you see on today's show comes from a member of the flock themselves. Speaking of the flock, okay, we got something we like to call the Noti flock. That's how many of you guys have your notifications on. Right now, 4.2 thousands of our subscribers have their notifications on. I want to get that number to 4.3 thousand. Okay, so I need 100 people to subscribe to the channel, click that bell button, turn on all, and then, of course, enable those YouTube notifications. Guys, if you want to be the most informed Ravens fan, this channel is going to help you out. We give you about 10 videos a week, all through the entirety of the season. It's all 100% free. So get on those notifications so that way, whenever we do have a video go out, you can be the first one to see it. Up first, J. Rowe Loams. Ravens run down by Chat Sports. Did Lamar have a say in that 4th down? That's a good question, Jay. I imagine he didn't. Because if I know Lamar, I know that Lamar Jackson would have wanted to go for it there. I wanted to go for it. Hell, everybody wanted to go for it. You wanted to go for it, I'm sure. And so I don't think that he had a say in it, because if he did have a say in it, I think they would have gone. Now, I do want to say one thing about Lamar, and it's the second down play prior to that third down completion to DeAndre Hopkins, the jet sweep from Zay Flowers. I look back at that film, and I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of wish he would have checked out of that play. He has the ability to do that. But if you go back and you watch that film, there are 7 Bills players on the right side of the field. And that's where the jet sweep's going. He's got to have the wherewithal to check out of that play. Moggs comes up next, #Ravens. I also say we get rid of those gadget jet plays, speaking of the jet play, and only use screens as such and elevate Keaton Mitchell back up to execute those with Zay and a running back committee. Thoughts, Joey? I don't think we should get rid of the gadget jet plays because they did work from time to time. They obviously didn't work on that 2nd and 9. I hated the play call there. Absolutely hated it. But I do think we can dial it back a little bit, okay? And I love Todd Monken. I think Todd Monken is an unbelievable offensive mind, and what he's been able to do for Lamar Jackson in his career and developing him as a pocket passer is unreal. But at the same time, in the same breath, I do think sometimes it can get a little bit gadgety. But I will say, if they do get rid of those jet sweeps, how often they do them, that's going to take the effect of them when they're doing them in a play action sense or in a read option sense. Okay, so maybe dial them back a little bit, but it all kind of comes together for one thing. Great question, though, Moggs. Appreciate you for always getting in the mailbag. Every single week you're in there. Christian Coveney, another guy who's always in here. I personally don't think we need to fire John, but we need to pull our head out of our asses on defense. What are your thoughts? I don't think fire John Harbaugh right now. I mean, that's not going to happen. That is unrealistic. That would never happen, okay? But I will say this. The defense needs help, and I trust them to pull it together. But if this season ends up like last season ends up, and like the season before that ends up, and like the season before that, and the season before that, and the season before that, and you come up short, then I do think it's time that we have a serious conversation about John Harbaugh. Okay? That's me being 100% truthful, me being 100% honest with you. But obviously, they're not going to do anything, and you shouldn't do anything during the middle of or the beginning of the season. Up next, Miss Coffee. Should the Ravens sign Asante Samuel Jr.? Great question. So, Jair Alexander, if you didn't watch it, or if you haven't heard me talk about it, had an atrocious game against the Buffalo Bills. He was horrible. Now, I will say with Jair, first game, he hasn't practiced a ton because he's been injured. Go figure. It's kind of what happens with Jair Alexander. So I'm not selling my Jair Alexander stock yet, but I'm less excited about him than I was. Should they sign Asante Samuel Jr.? I think if you look 6 weeks from now, and Asante is fully healed from his injury, which is the reason he hasn't been signed yet, and Jair Alexander is still playing bad, then I think you entertain it. I do. Because I can't have Jair Alexander give me Brandon Stevens reps again. Now you tell me, should the Ravens sign Asante Samuel Jr.? You give me a yes or a no in the comment section down below, okay? If you think they should, obviously give me a yes. And if you think they shouldn't, don't just give me a no, but tell me why not as well. Hashtag Ravens. What do you think Lamar's stats will be against the Browns? I don't think he's going to have like anything crazy passing-wise because I just don't think they're going to try to do anything crazy passing-wise. Gage, if you could do me a favor, and if you could pull up the scoreboard from the Bengals-Browns game, that would be great. The Browns, honestly, defended Joe Burrow and Cincinnati's passing offense really, really well. And I'll tell you that is one of the best passing offenses in the National Football League. And you can bring it up on scoreboard left. Remember, like we went to earlier. Joe Burrow was not able to do anything. And so I don't think you win this game by tossing it around the yard 40 times. I think you win this game by running the ball, running it effectively, and being balanced. So because of that, I mean, look, Joe Burrow didn't even eclipse 115 yards. So because of that, like, I wouldn't expect any crazy numbers from Lamar. this upcoming game, I don't see it. I think they're going to run the ball a lot. Hopefully they jump up to an early lead. Hopefully they have the lead for a good amount of time. And then hopefully because of that, they just keep on running the football. I got to tell you guys real quick before we continue on with the questions about our awesome friends at Prize Picks. You guys know them well by now. And if you don't know them well, you should get to know them, okay? Because they are the sponsor of today's show. And you and I make decisions every day. But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. How awesome if how we decide to get to work could get us paid, or what shirt we wear could get us paid. That's the thing. Decisions on Prize Picks can do that. Prize Picks offers what's called injury reboots with your lineups. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And here are my picks for this upcoming game against the Cleveland Browns. Give me the more on Derrick Henry rush yards. Give me the more on Lamar Jackson rushing touchdowns. And I think your defense is going to be a little bit better against Cleveland, so give me the more punts for Cleveland's punter. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. We thank Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video and making it possible. Jacko, here we go, my friend. Is there any, even streamer, potential for them to be usable as a defense or special teams this year? Is there any, even streamer, potential? I don't know what this question means, Jacko. We can move on, Gage, to a different one. Is there any even streamer potential for them? I'm sorry, Jacko. I'm going to go on to attended squad. Hashtag Ravens. What do you think the Ravens need to do to work on defense against the Browns? And what do you think they need to do to work on offense against the Browns after loss against the Bills? Not much offensively. Just keep consistent, right? You got to be able to finish the ball game. Defensively, I need to see a lot better job from the corners, okay? I need to see a lot better job, namely 100% from the pass rush. That's my biggest thing. Like, they gave no pressure to Josh Allen. He had all day to pat the football and throw it and complete it. Like, that needs to change. You need to pressure Joe Flacco more. Hashtag Ravens from Ravens King. I still believe in this team. It's only week 1. We will be fine. We are still Super Bowl contenders. Our defensive coaching just has to do better. Amen, Ravens King. Thank you for saying it, because if you didn't say it, I was going to say it. And I've been saying it all week. Look, guys, you're still a good team. I know nobody wants to hear this, right? This was actually the last thing I said about my instant reaction. You are a very good football team, and there's 17 weeks left in this season. It is a long season. People forget this team didn't take sole possession of the AFC North till week 17 last year, okay? You got a lot of games ahead of you. You lost the first one you shouldn't have lost. It sucks. It hurt. It's stupid, but it's not over. You're still a good team. You're still a good roster. Do not lose faith. Kimberly Harmon up next. Hashtag Ravens, who stands out both on offense and defense from Sunday's game? Offensively, Derrick Henry stood out because he still got it, even at his age. Man, he's going to go for 1,500 again this year. I just know it. I just know it. Defensively, Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton is the best defensive safety in the National Football League, bar none. Okay? Steve Loop with a fun question. What's up, Steve? Hashtag Ravens, top 5 games you'd pick this season to see live. Well, that Bills game would have been one of them. So I'll just count that one, okay? That would have been one of them. The Monday Night Football game against the Lions is another one. The Kansas City Chiefs game on the road is another one. I'd love to see the Steelers home game, and I also would love to see on the road against in Lambeau Field, okay? Those are the 5 games I would like to see live. Last up from Harbaugh Hate Club. What's your new Ravens record prediction? It's same as my old one, man. It's same as my old one. Okay? I think that I'm still thinking anywhere from 11-6 to 13-4. That's still so doable, guys. This is how every season starts. We panic. We overreact. We freak out. And then this team goes on a big win streak, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is an awesome football team. Okay, so that's my thoughts. Be honest with me. What's your new Ravens record prediction? If you have one. Mine's the same. I'm going to go 12-5. Okay, I think that team definitely has that this year. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you got me on Twitter and on Instagram. And if you're not a part of the flock, okay, if you're not subscribed to the channel, change that today by hitting that sub button. There we go. Okay, Jacko says, it's for fantasy football. They cost me my week. So I don't get what that means, the streamer. Pull that question back up, Gage, because we can just answer it while we're about to get out of here. Kimberly says 13-5. Ravens King sticking with 13-5 as well. I also want to take some time. We just had so many questions, we didn't get to it. But I want to answer. Whose did I really, really like? Durgert. Oh, wait, I already did answer that out. We just didn't answer it in the thing. So I kind of still stand with my answer. Is there any potential for them to be able to be usable as a defense? Oh, a special teams this year. Okay. As in for the Ravens, Jacko? I don't know, man. Maybe check back week 12. But I wouldn't check back. I wouldn't do it anytime soon. Oh, streamer equals waiver wire. Okay, see, I'm not familiar with that term. I'm familiar with fantasy football. Okay, your boys want to know. Like, is the defense good enough to get sacks, the picks, bad offense, 41 points the last bad? Great question, Jacko. Man, sorry I didn't answer it. That was a good question. I'm going to say check back later. Don't do it anytime soon. Let's wait to see how they look after that Rams game. Because then you hit a stretch where there's some winnable ball games, and it could be different. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it today. Occupy, join in a little bit late. We're about to get out of here, but thanks for being here. Nice, quick, tight hour today for my man Gage. And that's it. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys for watching all of these live shows. We'll be live again next week, but, hey, we'll be live on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. We're back on Wednesday. Okay, that is going to do it. Make sure you get me on social media if you have not yet. My links to my Twitter and Instagram are in the description of today's video. Hey, guess what, guys? You're not going to not see me till Wednesday. You'll actually see me on Sunday, live, hour before kickoff, 12 Eastern, 11 Central. Can't wait to see y'all then. For Producer Gage, my name's Joey Peterson. Y'all have a wonderful day, and God bless.